Greetings. I have only a few minutes before I have to leave, but I wanted to record this video quickly and hopefully we'll be able to get it up in the night while you're sleeping, and it will be ready for you on Tuesday morning. It's always a difficulty that I'm 9 or 10 hours behind you right now, but hopefully that will change next week. Depending on Qatar Airways, we're having difficulties because they canceled our flights, and so we're having to reschedule them, and they won't pick up the phone. You can pray for that. In the meantime, just some brief information and encouragement to study chapter 24 in your textbook. I will share screen just briefly. We're looking at, I'm looking at, let's see, I want to show all the windows, I guess, because there we are. Now I'm seeing what I want to see. The passive voice. Again, chapter 24 has introduced to us a very important subject, and I hope that you understand the voice, the idea of voice, the active voice and the passive voice, the active voice, the subject. For example, I make a video. I is a pronoun. Pronouns, noun, preposition before, noun, before a noun, or in this case, in place of a noun. Since I don't have a noun, I say I. I make a video. Make is the verb, and video is direct object. Okay, no problem. The subject does the action, but I can also say this video is made by me. In that case, by using the is with made, is made, I have in English put it in the passive voice. So the subject is the video, this video is made. This is an adjective, or I think you say adjective. Either way, it modifies the noun. The video is the noun. This video, this is an adjective. In Greek, ekenos. In English, this, no, hutos, sorry. This, hutos, video, is made, and then usually in English and also in Greek, we have an agent, sometimes a secondary and a direct agent, but an agent, by me. Hupo, usually in the Greek text, hupo with the genitive, by someone. This video is made by me, is made is passive voice. Now, we also have in Greek what we don't have in English, and that is the middle voice, which, as we know, is a voice where the subject is usually involved in the action in some way. And we learned middle voice endings already in chapter 9 of the textbook in Greek 1. But again, learn your passive voice. In this midterm exam, we will especially emphasize the indicative passive voice. For one thing, we already learned these endings back in chapter 9. We didn't learn luomai, but we learned words like dechomai, deche, dechete, dechometha, and we even learned the subjunctive, which is given in chapter 24.2, but we even learned those endings in the present tense because the present, middle, and passive are the same, and some words are what we call deponent, They may have middle or passive endings, like apokrinomai has apokrithe, he answered. Um, and But they're translated actively in English. So a lot of these we know. We know the imperfect passive because we learned that in chapter 22. Elu omen, I was being loosed. And then we have learned the aorist passive, and the indicative is especially noticed by the theta eta at the end, in the ending, and even the outside of the indicative, the theta usually is showing the passive voice of, for example, a participle form. I will be concentrating especially on the indicative passive, but it won't be an exception if I put in a participle passive, because you should recognize this theta as the consonant that is common for the passive voice, especially in the endings. And you notice the translation here in chapter 24.1.3 in English, how we do that in English by supplying a form of the verb to be. The other thing, and then the agent or instrument, how it's expressed, usually by hupal plus the genitive. And there's some other ways of doing it that he gives us. He talks about the middle and passive voice in their translation. I won't concentrate so much on that. I think if you are able to understand the passive voice in general, that you won't have a problem there. You do need to learn these irregular passives, anoigo, enochthein, the aorist passive of I opened, I was opened. The passive would be I was opened, and so on. The perfect passive, if you know the perfect tenses, then making the passive form is not so difficult. Now, these principal parts are something that students sometimes get confused about. And again, these are the ones that you must know and you should know by Thursday for the midterm exam. What are the principal parts of some very common verbs, the ones you must know? You must know them now, and you must know them for the final exam. So go and learn them. Balo, notice we haven't gotten to the future, but we will after spring break. Baleo will be the future. I will throw. The aorist I threw, we know already. Ebalon, it's a second aorist form. Some of these verbs don't have second aorist, they have first aorist, but many have a second aorist. Bebleka, the passive perfect, the perfect active, and then your perfect passive, beblemai, I have been thrown, and the aorist passive, I was thrown, eblethin. So learn these for the Moodle part of your exam, and also for the oral part. Schedule your oral exam with Tutor Masood, please. I don't want to do that. He is keeping track and giving me a schedule for all of your oral. You need exams. You need a half hour of time to talk with me, and I will ask you some vocabulary words, and I will ask you to translate a sentence that has the passive voice, probably a verb in the indicative, passive, and maybe one of these principal parts. That will be, it will not take very long. So you need to do that this week, and you need to get caught up on your homework if you are behind. And one last thing, give your Moodle quiz before Thursday. If you give it, you will be better prepared for your midterm exam, both parts. God bless you.